Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today, and I have another review for you, this time for a slasher that's not the bloodiest, not really the scariest or anything like that, but one that I have enjoyed since it came out in 2018. I've always thought this had a little bit of a charm and a fun to it, despite the lacking areas that it has. It feels like an MPAA chopped up mess. This is an R-rated, surprisingly enough. I thought it was clearly PG-13, but it's not. Hellfest. Now, I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was good. I liked it this time as I rewatched it. I know a lot of my friends out there who love things that are carnival-themed, and a lot of my viewers out there who love carnival-themed horror. You're not going to get the best experience out of this, but I think there's enough in here that I enjoyed to say that it's definitely higher than average for me when it comes to recent horror movies. I think I like this more than Scream 5 and Scream 6. I think I like it more than Halloween Ends, which is a bad movie anyway. It's not hard to top that one. But Halloween 2018 and Kills, I think, just barely surpassed this one for me. Anyway, Hellfest is a movie that I really enjoyed about basically a group of friends going to a carnival on Halloween night. Everything is Halloween themed. Think of like Busch Gardens on that Halloween Horror Nights thing they apparently do. It's kind of like that, with decorations everywhere, giant pumpkins, street performers, people dressed up in costumes. Tony Todd is here doing voices of different attractions and rides. He's here physically at one point on the stage. Hellfest is basically about a killer slipping into this place, putting a mask on, even though adults aren't supposed to be wearing costumes that don't work for the place, which makes this more fun because he can kind of hide out. No one really knows who he is. They keep the killer very, very, very anonymous in this film. It's not a whodunit. It's a, oh shit, he could be in the crowd at any point and we wouldn't even know. And that becomes a big threat in this movie. This guy begins to go after this group of teens. We're not really sure why. It's not just them that he goes after. He kind of just goes randomly after people, kind of like the original 78 Michael Myers. And I think that's actually fun because of the locations, because of how the carnival is set up, the amusement park, whatever you want to call this place. It's really fun. Now, this background shows like a Ferris wheel and shit, and I'm almost certain I did not see a Ferris wheel in this movie. Maybe I missed it. But this is a very typical small-town carnival-looking thing, where it's like a fair more than anything, where you would have some rides, but you mostly have like stands where you can win prizes, and you have like haunted houses and dark rides and that kind of thing. It being Halloween themed, that adds a lot of enhancement to that, makes it a lot of fun. I love the lighting. There's a lot of like neon lights, very 80s aesthetic, without having an 80s themed soundtrack and score, you know, which I thought was kind of surprising. This is throwing back to the 80s slasher craze in a good way, not trying to mimic the 80s so much. I think it would have enhanced it even more and probably made the movie more watchable, to be honest. But for what they did, it gets that spirit of the 80s. Remember, a lot of the 80s slashers did not have a ton of blood and gore. This one doesn't. It really has one scene that if you blink, you miss the gore. Otherwise, after that, you might have fake out decapitations, you might have fake out stabbings that you don't really see. But I like this killer. It's basically just a guy with a weird, like, it looks like a corpse's face, kind of like the grandfather from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre original series. He looks like that, but he also has like a hoodie, just wears a hoodie. Very basic getup for this killer, but I liked it. I like the way he goes after people. I think there's certain scenes, like one involving a, one of those things where you hit a hammer on a little point and it goes up and hits a bell, you know? I forgot what it's called, a strongman competition, whatever. There are certain scenes involving things like that that make this movie worth watching. I just wish it had more blood. That's the biggest, most disappointing thing about the film, because I think it's well shot. I love the way the location is, where they're at. I like this group of teens, every single one of them. One of them being the chick from Arrow and the Scream TV series, who's really good. She's kind of annoying here. She's kind of annoying the more her career has gone on, but she's good here. I like her. Let's see, who else was there? I think that was about it of all the people I could recognize. The director of this film, some of these choices are about to make more sense to you, probably. By the way, all the effects are done practically, which was awesome. No real CGI or anything like that. That, to me, won me over immediately watching this, even though there's not a whole lot of gore or blood or dismemberment or anything like that, once again. This director is actually the director of Paranormal Activity 6, The Ghost Dimension. That movie is fucking terrible. I hate that shit. I think that came out right before this movie. I don't know, but I think it did. A lot of the writers attached here. There's like 3 people who wrote this and like 3 story by people, which is crazy to me. You had one of the writers who did like The Nun 2. You had some other ones who did some other popular things too that I like. There's a lot of good people working on this. The chick who did Malignant and Megan worked on this as well as a writer. There's a lot of people working on this script and on this movie that I think it should have been even better than what it turned out to be. If I had to believe, and if I had to debate this, I would say that originally when the story was written, it was going to be more like that old After Dark Horror Fest film I love so much, Dark Ride, with a lot of blood, a lot of gore, a lot of theme park attraction stuff. I suspect that was the original script and that they had to water it down hoping for a PG-13 rating, and then there was still too much language. I'm suspecting that's how they got the R rating, because there's not enough violence here to justify an R rating. But even so, I think that Hellfest is a blast to watch, and I would recommend it to anybody out there who likes the slasher subgenre of horror anyway. If you don't like it, well, fine. But if you do, this is a really good one to check out that I think you'll have a blast with. It's so much fun to watch, so just eerie, it gets under your skin. I think it's a really good time overall. This is a forget everything in your life, all of your qualms and issues in life, and just turn your brain off and enjoy it. And I don't really like the phrase turn your brain off. I usually think that's an excuse from idiot audience members who just want to make an excuse for a bad movie being bad and being generic. That's kind of the thing here, but this is fun to watch when you turn your brain off with it. If I had to rate Hellfest on a 5-star basis, I'd probably give it a pretty high 3 out of 5 stars. I almost gave this a 4 because I really, really enjoy this. I enjoy it way more than you're going to. I don't know why, but I do. I settle on that, and I agree with myself about that. So you may or may not agree. You may watch this based on my recommendation if you happen to be somebody who listens to my recommendations, but I think it's great. I think it kicks ass, and I can't believe people don't like it. So anyway, Hellfest should have been more bloody. I think it would have really brought more out of this movie, had a lot more fans for it. Imagine if it had Terrifier level gore. It would have really succeeded. But overall, I really enjoy what it's doing. I wish we had gotten a sequel. I think there's a really good chance to have a sequel that could be good. But dude, it came out in 2018. It's almost been like, I'm not good at math. It's been what, 6 years? No? Maybe? I don't know. I'm bad at math. But anyway, it's been too long. They're not going to make a sequel. And I really wish they would, because there's some things towards the end of the film that I think could be really cool. And again, it's not really a whodunit. It's just the anonymity, the idea that you could learn more about this person doing all of this shit in some sequels, I think would be really cool. So anyway, Hellfest may seem meaningless, but I still think it's cool and I've enjoyed it every time I've seen it, and I still recommend it to the right person out there, so check it out. Let me know what you think about Hellfest down below. Is it one of the better slashers in recent years that weren't Terrifier? I'd love to hear all that down below too. And yeah, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. What's your favorite kind of hidden gem horror slasher movie out there that nobody really talks about? The Hellfest is one of mine. I'm not going to put it in the hidden horrors playlist on my channel, but I still think this is a big standout that people don't give enough credit because of the lack of gore in it, because of the lack of scares in it. But still, I think it's fun to watch, and I have a good time every single fucking time. So anyway, thank you guys. God bless you all. Catch you later, and goodbye.